Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video, we will be selecting the right buck converter IC and what will be the topology we will be using throughout the series for buck converter. How can we use active BOM using Altium Develop? So, by the end of this video, you should know different buck converter topologies as there are different buck converter topologies available, and you will know how to select buck converter IC based on specs as we have mentioned in our requirements in the previous video number 1. So you can also view that for getting the idea what is how can we add the requirements to the workspace. So you will also see why lifecycle and availability matters. So in the previous video, we defined the buck converter project and added the requirements. In this video, we will make our first real design decision. Which buck converter topology and IC should we use and why? So it all depends upon the requirements. As you can see, here we have added the requirements on the workspace, Altium Develop workspace. The input voltages are 12 volts, ranging from 9 volts to 18 volts, and output voltages are 5 volts, and output current is 3 amps. So when we are going to select the buck converter IC, we should select the IC which can take the input voltage, which can have the input voltage of around less than at least 18 volts, should be greater than equal to 18 volts, and output voltage should be 5 volts, and output current should be greater than equal to 3 amps. So here are different buck converter topologies over here. First one is asynchronous, then synchronous, third one is controller bus externals. So every topology has their pros and cons. I have mentioned over here. A synchronous buck converter image is this one, as it is based on the switches to MOSFETs. Just like conventional buck converter has a diode instead of Q2, but synchronous buck converter has the MOSFET instead of the diode. And because of this MOSFET, it is highly efficient, but the cons is it is more complex. So asynchronous is simple, cheap, and it is a diode based. You use the diode instead of the Q2, but it has some lower efficiency. Controllers and externals, there are also available some predefined controllers which can be used as a buck converter. Totally, you just need to give it a input voltage and setting the PWM through the potentiometer, and it will give you the output voltage. So here in this picture you can see it is basically an asynchronous buck converter. It has S1 switch, and instead of Q2 it has D1 diode over here. So it is most commonly used buck converter, but it has some lower efficiency. If we talk about the synchronous buck converter, it has much more efficiency as compared to this one. So for 5 volt at 3 amps with higher efficiency and compact size, we will choose a synchronous buck converter, buck IC. Buck converter, we will go for this topology, synchronous buck topology with integrated MOSFETs. So let's move ahead. It simply looks like this. It's the most simplest diagram or circuit of the synchronous buck converter. You will just give the V in, you will configure the circuit in this way, and will give the input voltage at the V in side, and you will get V out depending upon the duty cycle and the frequency on the MOSFET you are giving at the gate of the MOSFET. So here are the requirements. As I have said that the input voltage for the buck converter should be greater than equal to 18 volts and at least 18 volts, and the output voltage should be 5 volts, and buck current should be buck current, but buck converter's output current should be greater than equal to 3 amps. So let's choose the IC depending upon these requirements. And efficiency, note that the efficiency should be greater than 90%. I have not mentioned over here, but it should be greater than equal to 90% for the good design. Let's search through the TG key and search for the buck regulator, and from the filter select as your requirement. As we know that the input voltage should be greater than equal to 18 volts, so just select an input voltage max. I am selecting over here 18 right now, and it should be greater than equal to 19, so I can select further more, and I am selecting till 24 volts. So this will be the input voltage range, so at least 18 volts. The output voltage max should be, for now I am looking for the converter which can give 5 volt, 5.1, 5.2 up to 5.5. Then we will select at what voltage, and the current, output current we need is at least 3 amps. So just select this and apply all. Click on apply all. And after it loads, you will see there are different buck converters comes out, and look for the first one and see the specifications over here. IC buck regulator adjustable, 3 amps, 9 volts. Okay. So here voltage input max is 18 volts. So for now, it's okay. We can use this one because we want to run at 12 volts. So max is 18 volts, then we can use it. Just copy this part number. It has switching frequency as desired. And go to the manufacturer part search and type the part number over here. So you will see I did not get any result because we are at the description.schematics doc. So, and the filter over the manufacturer part search is selected connectors. So it is not lying under the connectors. So we have to select, change the parameters from here. Now choose from connectors here all, and now type the part number over here and you will get this one. So in this way you can place this component to the schematic sheet, but it is not it doesn't have the schematic symbol and PCB footprint with it. For now I will just give you the idea how can we add it. So you first have to place this part to the workspace to be used in the schematics. So I am saving this to the integrated circuits portion of the workspace, and it will ask, do you want to use this IC from the cloud? Just click OK. After viewing the options, these all red marked, indicating that there is something missing. So just click over here OK for now, and after it loads just save it and then save it to the server, and it will be uploaded to the server. Then you can use it to the to your schematics. But remember that uh, we don't have the schematic symbol and footprint associated with this IC. So you have to select that IC or alternate part or the recommended part with it that has some schematic symbol and the footprint library. Now you can save it to the server, click and write any release note, and I'm writing over here added, and click OK, and it will take some time to upload, and it is pushing the changes. This TPS 6290 IC to the workspace, and it is uploaded. So you can close it out and go back and save the schematics, the project to the server. Before we have saved the changes or related to the part TPS to the server, now you can change or update the project to the server. So in this way, you can use the workspace, you can use the manufacturer part search to search the parts and then saving to the server and using that part to the into your schematics. And you can also analyze the availability life cycle and is the part is going to be EOL end of life, so from the workspace. So that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching and follow us for the upcoming videos. We will explore more about it in our upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.